Hi guys, it's Jay from Stockswood Outdoor Centre. Good to see you again. This is our first video at looking at some of the knots that we do, knots and lashes. Now those of you who have been to our holiday clubs and some of our other sessions since last October will know that we've introduced a skills chart. We've got about 20 different skills as mentioned on the previous video, so lots of different knots and lashes, all of the tools that we use, and then not just lighting fire but managing fire, keeping it going for different reasons, and using fire tools, things like the Kelly kettle, as well as using our knots for making some shelters. Now the way our skills chart works is that as we teach you a skill, we'll give you 1 bar of a triangle. When you're becoming quite good at doing that skill and showing some of the safety elements, we'll give you a 2nd bar, so 2 bars of a triangle. And then if we feel that you're totally confident that you can, things like the knots, quite often children like doing it with their eyes closed to prove that they can do it successfully. And particularly the tools, if we know that you're using them safely, we'll give you the base of the triangle, so you'll have 3 bars of a triangle. And when you've done that, you get one of our oak leaf symbols, and we stamp a little booklet with space for those 20 skills. And it's just a great way to see that you're progressing with the skills that you're using in the woodland, a little bit like if you're in a team with things like scouts and cubs. Let's put that away for a moment. Now, first knot that we're going to look at is called the overhand knot. Oh, excuse Holly there, interested in the horse that's just gone past. So what you'll need today is some length of string or rope. It could be a shoelace if you borrow that, just make sure you pop it back again. It won't be very good if someone takes their shoe out and missing their shoelace. It doesn't need to be very long, that's approximately 60 centimetres, so like 2 ruler lengths at school, that's absolutely ample. And what we're going to look at today is the overhand knot. The easiest knot is what most people would think of when they say, can you tie me a knot? And the overhand knot, I always teach by saying over, under, through. So can you say that out as well? Over, under, through. So with our rope, we're going to bring our rope over itself. So there's our over. Then we're going to take it under itself. And then we're going to pull it through. Okay, over, under, through. Now, be careful you don't pull it too tight, because remember, you're the one that's got to undo it as well. So it's very easy just to undo that loop. So let's try that again, the overhand knot. Do it on my legs so you can see. So we're taking the leading end and we're going over and we're going under and we're pulling through. Now the overhand knot is also known as a stopper knot, because you can probably see that the end of my red rope, because it's a plasticky rope, I've melted the end of it, okay, to stop it fraying. But the overhand knot is a great knot for tying at the end of a piece of string to make a little stopper knot so any frayed edges don't continue all the way down the string. So you quite often see that the overhand knot is called a stopper knot. Now, I was always told that if you double your string over, and now imagine that that's 1 piece of string, looks a bit like a magic trick, doesn't it? And then tie an overhand knot, so with my looped end we go over and under and through. I was always told that's a double overhand knot. But it's got a proper name. It's actually called an overhand knot on a bite. Now it's not that sort of bite, it's B-I-G-H-T. And the bite is the curved part. Now I'm going to show you how we do that again, and then show you why I think it's quite a cool little knot for in the woodland, particularly if you're making things up in Fairy Lane. So this time we get our string, and if you fold it in half, so put 2 ends together, and now imagine that that's 1 piece of string. Take the end that's curved over. What do we call that? Can you remember? It's the bite, isn't it? B-I-G-H-T. So with our bite end, we're going to imagine that that's 1 piece of string now, and take the bite end over and under and pull it through. So that's now an overhand knot or stopper knot on a bite. Now, Why is that useful? Well, I think if you're up in Fairy Lane and you're making different activities for the fairies, one of the things you can do is make a little swing for them. So, if you hang that over a little branch, you've got 2 loose ends. And remember the overhand knot or a stopper knot. If we find a little twig, I'm just seeing if there's one nearby. There we go. And if I tie an overhand knot over my twig, so over and under and through, and pull that tight, and do the same at the other end. So I go over and under and through. Whoop, it's a very broken twig now. There we go. I've now got a little swing for my fairies. So the overhand knot on a bite with 2 overhand knots on a twig can be a little swing in my fairy garden. So that's one use of that knot. So we've already learnt a couple of knots today. What we learnt? The overhand knot or the stopper knot and the overhand knot on a bite. Now, I used to use the word double overhand knot, and that's not strictly correct for that overhand knot on a bite. So a double overhand knot is where you're doing a stopper knot that's definitely going to stay stopped. Okay, it's not going to come undone. So a double overhand knot would be where we go over. Can you remember what's next? Under and through. But before you pull it, you do another over, under and through. So over, under and through. So it's like it's got 2 twists. And when you pull that, you've got a stopper knot that's a little bit more chunky. So again, it will stop the edge fraying. So that's our double overhand knot. Should we do that one again? Let's pull that out. Traffic's got busy today. So we've got our over, under and through, but instead of doing it again, pulling it, we do it again. So we go over, under and through. So it's like it's got 2 twists, and that's our double overhand knot or our double stopper knot. So already you've learnt your overhand knot or the stopper knot, overhand knot on a bite, where we can make a little hook to hang on things like our swing for our fairy garden, and our double overhand knot or double stopper knot. Now, we're going to next time we're going to look at the clove hitch, which I love calling the fishy in the dishy, and some other knots and lashes for the next videos. So what I'd like you to do before then is have a go at using these knots. Remember, you can just borrow a shoelace or ask your parents for a piece of string that you can use to have a practice, and let us know how you're getting on with those. And through the next few videos we'll look at some other knots and lashes, and that way when you come back to Stockswood you can show us how good you're getting on with your knots and lashes, and we can get you stamped up showing your achievements, and it will really help you with the things that you're doing in the woodland and that you're making. Now, as well as pausing the video and having lots of other goes, there's brilliant help on the internet. So if you ask your parents to have a look, you can go onto the Scout website. That's got some great resources, and also animated knots. If you look on animated knots, they do little videos of it where step by step it will show you what to do. Don't worry too much about the names. As I say, some people call different knots or the same knot different names. And also don't worry about having to learn hundreds of knots. I've got lots of knot books, and I must admit I only know a few because the few are the ones that I use all the time. So it's good fun learning lots of different knots, but really it's making sure that you know some that you're going to use regularly and that you can do those well. So have a great time. I look forward to seeing you soon for the next knot, the clove hitch or the fishy in the dishy.